Hey crypto family. So today we're going to talk about the rally in the market today, as well as some other coins that are rising, specifically Litecoin, why it's rising more than any other coin in the top 10. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So we can see Bitcoin is up nearly 4%, up to $9,292. It's great to see it had this bounce here last night. If you watched my video last night, I mentioned that usually when everyone's pessimistic and there's a lot of fear in the market, that's usually when the bounce happened, and that's exactly what happened. We bounced from a low of $8,349 all the way to a high of over $9,400. So it's great to see a little bounce there. Again, a lot of this FUD was just from, the selling for the Mt. Gox trustee. He was selling a lot of his Bitcoin kind of over time, and that contributed along with people thinking that Binance was hacked, and just a lot of things compounded on each other, and that's what caused this decline here. But again, some of that's fading, and while there's still some FUD in the market, it's good to see that we are showing a rally from the lows. So looking at some other altcoins, again, every altcoin is nearly in the green. Monero is actually up over 12%, and again, that's because they have a hard fork coming called Monero V. That's going to be on March 14th. Again, it's not supported by the company. It's a third party doing the hard fork. But again, that's why I expect to see that rising a lot more in the next couple of days. But specifically, I want to focus on Litecoin. So Litecoin is up nearly 13%. And there's a couple reasons for that. So if you look on Charlie Lee's Twitter, you can see here, he says, since I got blamed every time Litecoin price goes down, I'm going to take 100% credit for why Litecoin is the only top coin in the green today. This was 7 hours ago when everything else was red. So it's kind of funny that he posted that. A couple reasons for that is this company Grayscale. They actually had a Bitcoin, kind of like a Bitcoin investment fund, if you will. So it was like an investment trust where investors could invest in Bitcoin at a premium. And recently they announced that they're adding Ripple, Litecoin, and Ethereum and Bitcoin Cash to their investment trust. So, that may have not spiked Litecoin specifically, but because it was in there, again, people already see Litecoin as the silver to Bitcoin's gold. So that was some good news. But I think the main one that really took Litecoin off was when the Winklevoss twins says Crypto Exchange, their Gemini Crypto Exchange, is likely to add Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. So for those who don't know about the Winklevoss twins, basically they were the guys who were the co-founders of Facebook. They basically had the idea, and then they were in a suit with Mark Zuckerberg over who actually created it, and they settled out of court. I believe it was about $60 million. But they're really big crypto advocates. So they own a lot of Bitcoin. They became the first Bitcoin billionaires, and they have their own exchange called Gemini Exchange. So you can kind of think of it like Coinbase, but right now they only have Bitcoin and Ethereum on it. So now that they're thinking of adding Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin, that's kind of the same thing as, Coinbase adding a new coin. So I think that's why Litecoin's been seeing a lot of attention. Again, Bitcoin Cash hasn't been seeing that much of a rise, but I think because it doesn't really have that appeal that Litecoin has. Litecoin's been known to have that stable growth and, not really wild swings per se. When it does swing, it's usually to the upside. So I think that's a big reason, as well as the Winklevoss twins. They're actually in talks with CBOE. So their partner is the CBOE with Chicago Board of Options Exchange, and they're the people that launched Bitcoin futures along with CME. And basically, CBOE was stating that they want to offer futures contracts on digital currencies besides Bitcoin. So again, if they're adding Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash, you can expect Litecoin and Ethereum to have some futures contracts. I cannot see that far behind. And everyone knows what happened with Bitcoin whenever, futures started offering with that. It spiked up the price like crazy. Now, again, there's some volatility with that. Whether futures contracts are a good or bad thing, I don't want to say, but again, just take that for what you will. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and just the fact that Litecoin is getting listed on these new exchanges, these new investment trusts, I think that people are starting to invest in it because they see it as one of the top cryptocurrencies, and it's kind of has that almost investor appeal since it's a lower price. It's one of the lower price coins out of all of them. It's only $187 versus Ethereum at $732 or Bitcoin Cash at over $1,000. So again, kind of that whole dollar mentality. People think, if it's cheaper, it has a higher chance for double the gains, so to speak. So that's some of the reasons. And I want to also focus on what they said at the end of this article. So it says, they also said they aren't concerned about the recent slowdown in Bitcoin volume, as it's happened dozens of times before, and the long-term trend is still in the right direction. The customer quality and institutional base is better even than a year ago, they said, and futures have gotten off to an incredible start. And this is what I really like. They said in 2018, you're really going to see institutions and Wall Street really get in, and it's going to look very different, Tyler Winklevoss said. So these guys are in the know. I mean, they have their own exchange. They're really deep into the crypto scene. They have a lot of money, and you can bet they have a lot of networking. So I'm sure they know a lot of people in these top banks in Wall Street. So, if they're very bullish as they are, then I definitely see it as positive news for the future. And just keep that in mind whenever we have these, these sharp declines here. Don't panic. Just hold your coins. If you're long-term with this, like I am, I'm just holding, through all this volatility here. Now, again, you can capitalize on it, whether you're outside the United States, you can use BitMEX. But again, it's not financial advice, just my opinion. But there's always other avenues of taking advantage of the market when it's going down or up. So again, you can make money either way. So always look at that when looking at opportunities. And one last thing I want to point out is, so we're going to talk about regulation. Again, the SEC mentions that, they want all these exchanges to be regulated and stuff, and kind of, focusing more on that safety aspect for investors. So they'll feel safer, investing in cryptos. But it says here, the CFTC ex-chairman, they say the crypto bubble won't burst without set regulations to bring in big money. So basically, long story short, what they're saying in here is there can't be a bubble if there's hardly any money invested right now. So, as you know, I mean, crypto it hasn't even gotten mainstream yet, not even close. There's just a small percentage of the world that's invested right now, and you have all these banks, all these big investors that haven't even touched it yet. And basically what it says is, until there's regulations and actual people investing in it, then you can start talking about a bubble. But again, we haven't even scratched the surface because, regulators haven't done anything yet, so there hasn't been that mass inflow of new people coming in. So I know it's hard to believe with all the growth we've had, but again, there's still a ton of people who want to invest in this, but they want to make sure it's safe. So again, that's part of the whole regulations aspect, and that's why I think it's not necessarily a negative thing to have regulation, because it brings in all those new investors. All that money comes into the market. That's when you start seeing that $1 trillion plus market cap, which I definitely believe we're going to see before the end of the year. So there's something to keep in mind there. And, don't let any of the FUD get you down, because, again, I definitely see Bitcoin still being 30,000, 40,000 by the end of the year. So, I believe we'll definitely see a continued rise in the future. There may be some volatility along the way, but again, just hold strong, and Bitcoin will be to new all-time highs before you know it. So with that, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, comment if you have any questions, and please subscribe if you haven't. Until next time, thanks for watching.